As we know, nowadays everything just moving around the data. Whatever we are doing, that is example of data. Suppose I am speaking something, means I am representing some data. If I am writing something, means I am representing some data. Means if you are watching a video, that is also example of a data. So nowadays data is processing a very large scale. That's why big data come into the world. In last video I had discussed about how 5B big data is affecting the whole world. So today I am going to discuss about how big data analytics works, means what is step by step procedure of big data analytics. So here I am going to discuss about big data analytic life cycle. So there are 9 stages. So one by one every stage I will discuss what is business case evaluation, data identification, data extraction and data analysis, data visualization. So one by one we are going to discuss in this video. So when we are talking about traditional data analysis and big data analysis, both are different thing. Nowadays we are using big data analytics at a very large scale compared to traditional data analysis, because traditional data analysis have a large number of disadvantages compared to advantage. That's why big data analytics come into the market. So there are 9 stages. First one is business case evaluation, then data identification, data acquisition and filtering, data extraction, data validation and cleaning, data aggregation and representation, data analysis, data visualization, utilization of analysis result. So by these stages also you can understand what is meaning of data identification. Means we have to identify the data. Data acquisition means, and filtering means we have to filter the valid data, because whatever data we are gathering that is not required whole data is a correct or in a correct manner. So in this procedure we have to filter the good data, valid data you can say. Data extraction means to find out data, means whatever data we have to extract valid data from those unfiltered data you can say. Data validation means we have to validate every data, that data is as per requirement or not. And representation means how we are going to represent the data, then we have to analyze the data. Nowadays everything depend upon the data analysis. Suppose if I want to see the performance of a student, so definitely I have to see the data from 2 or 3 years. So by that particular data, by using analysis method, we can find out if student is progressing or not progressing. So that is data analysis. Data visualization means how you are going to visualize the data, and you are going to make your future plan according to the data. Then utilization of analysis result, whatever result we have gathered, how we are going to utilize that data in our future plan. So now this is life cycle. Here you can see the stages which is represented like stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Everything is connected to each other, means stage 9 anyhow connected to stage 1 as well, because this is step by step procedure. First will be stage 1, second will be stage 2, third will be stage 3, so on. Now first is business case evaluation. So each big data analytics life cycle must begin with a well defined business case that present a clear understanding of the justification, motivation and goal of carrying out the analysis. Means first case is planning, means whatever you are going to do, first we have to make a better plan so you can execute. Suppose if you are going to take admission, so firstly you have to analysis about that particular institute, that institute is good or bad. So that is must. In case of big data analytics, first one is business case evaluation, means each big data analytics life cycle must begin with a well defined business case that represent a clear understanding of the justification, motivation and goal of carrying out the analysis. An evaluation of a big data analytics business can help decision maker understand the business resources that will need to be utilized and which business challenges the analysis will tackle. This can be implemented on any business. suppose if you have started a business of something, so definitely after some days by analysis the report, by analysis the your selling, you can find out if which product is selling more, which product is selling less. So according to that you can make your decision you are going to carry on that particular product or not. So it's totally depend. Now the further identification of KPI during this stage can help determine assessment criteria and guidance for the evaluation of analytic result. So basically in first stage business case evaluation, firstly you have to determine your goal, your motivation and your planning, because this is most important thing for first stage when you are talking about big data analytics. Based on business requirement that are documented in the business case, it can be determined whether the business problem being addressed or really big data problem. In order to qualify as a big data problem, a business problem need to be directly related to one or more of the big data characteristics of volume, because we have already discussed 5B. Here you can see volume, velocity and variety. If that problem is related to 5B, means that is a problem of big data. So definitely anyhow whatever problem is occurring to you, definitely that will fall in 5B. Now second is data identification. So here we are talking about to identify the data. So identifying a wider variety of data sources may increase the probability of finding hidden patterns and correlation. For example, to provide insight, it can be beneficial to identify as many type of related data sources as possible, especially when it is unclear exactly what to look for. Basically, whatever data we gather, so definitely there are many data which have some pattern. Suppose there are 5 to 6 number is written 1 2 3 4 5 6. So also you can find there are two pattern. One is odd number pattern, one is even number pattern. So we can extract data as like odd number pattern, as like even number pattern. So whenever we gather some data, so different data is divided in different part. Only because that create easy analysis of data. Suppose you are visiting nearby village to Punjab, yes, so definitely you can find some relative data. Yes, in this village I am finding the problem of water in this village also. So there are two categories. One, the village we have some problem of water, one village who have not problem of water. So data can be segregated, means we can identify the data as well. Depending on the business scope of the analysis project and nature of the business problem being addressed, the required data set and their sources can be internal or external to be enterprises. In case of internal data set, a list of available data set from internal sources such as data mart and operation system are typically compiled and matched against a predefined data set specification. Whatever data set we have already spied, also we can match ki we are liking, yeah, you are moving. So in case of external data set, a list of possible third party data providers such as data market and publicly available data sets are compiled. Some form of external data may be embedded within the blog or other types of content based website, in which case they may need to be harvested by automated tool. So basically in this second stage we have to identify the data, we have to segregate the data in a different pattern so you can easily analyze. Now third is data acquisition and filtering. So the acquired data is then subjected to automated filtering for the removal of corrupt data or data that has been deemed to have no value to the analysis objective. Okay, so in this case, whatever data we have gathered, we have collected, that should be filtered. Means we have to remove the corrupt data or data which have no use. Because suppose you have gathered 5 to 10 data and 2 data are no use, so there is no use in analysis. We cannot consider those data to making any analysis or making any report. So those type of data should be removed or treated as a corrupt data. Depending on the type of data source, Data may comes as a collection of files such as data purchased from a third-party data provider, or maybe required API integration such as with Twitter. In many cases, especially where external unstructured data is concerned, some or most of the acquired data may be irrelevant. That called be noise also, and can be discarded as part of the filtering process. Data classified as a corrupt can include record with missing or nonsensical value or invalid data types. So data that is filtered out for one analysis may possibly be valued for a different type of analysis. This can be happen. Suppose some data we have removed, so also we can consider those data for other type of analysis if we are looking for how many data is corrupted from the which data source. So we can categorize. Also is depend upon which type of report we want, which type of analysis we want to do. Therefore, it is advisable to store a verbatim copy of original data set before processing with the filtering. So this is a very basic required thing. Suppose there is a Excel file, if you want to make it change, so this is best way. You firstly create a copy of that particular data, particular file, then you can change it. What happens sometimes, suppose if you are changing and you are not agree, so at least your original data will be not lost. If you are not creating a copy, so maybe your original data may be lost, and if you want to recover, so you are unable to recover that data at that point. So this is best way. Firstly create a copy, then you can process the filter. So to minimize the required storage space, the verbatim copy can be compressed. Okay, so this is example of data acquisition and filtering. Now talking about data extraction. So the content of extraction and transformation required depend on the type of analytics and capabilities of the big data solution. For example, extracting the required field from delimited textual data such as with web server log files may not necessary if the underlying data solution can be already directly process those files. So here you can see there is a HTML file and we are extracting data in a table. So there are various ways to extract data. So here also you can see the extraction of data. Here you can see data is not well defined, but here in this table you can see data is well defined manner, means we have user ID, latitude and longitude. Here you can see the figure demonstrates the extraction of latitude and longitude coordinate of a user from a single JSON field. So here you can see how data is going to be managed after extraction. Now data validation and cleaning. So invalid data can skew and false analysis result. If suppose you are preparing a result or a report, if there are some invalid data, so definitely that data is going to affect your analysis and report as well. So before going for analysis, data should be validated, data should be cleaned. Clean means whatever invalid data is present, that can be removed. So unlike traditional in-process data, where the data structure is predefined and data is pre-validated, data input into big data analysis can be unstructured without any indication of validity. So its complexity can be further make it difficult to arrive at a set of suitable validation constraints. So for this, data should be validated if we are going for data analysis. So big data solution often receive redundant data across different data sets. This redundancy can exploit it to explore interconnected data set in order to assemble validation parameter and fill in the missing valid data. Now here you can see the first value in dataset B is validated against its corresponding value in dataset A. So there are two dataset we are using, dataset A, dataset B. The second value in dataset B is not validated against its corresponding values in A. Okay, if a value is missing, it is inserted from dataset A. Means here in dataset B, here you can see the one data is missing, so that can be validated from here, that can be inserted from dataset A to dataset B. So this is also an example of validation. Now here you can see another example. Now talking about data aggregation and representation. So data may be spread across multiple data set, requiring that data set be joined together by a common field or example data or ID. So basically suppose there are 2 or 3 5 you have a data set. So anyhow when you are going to prepare results, so you have to combine all the data, and data can be combined through a common field. If you have idea about some SQL server or some database concept, so there is a concept of join, union. So both type of concept used to combine the table, two table, more than two table. So here we are talking about data aggregation, means we are going to add data from the multiple data sets. So data may be spread across the multiple data set, requiring that data set may be joined together by a common field or on the basis of date or ID. In other cases, the same data field may appear in a multiple data set, such as a date of birth. Okay, so a method of data reconciliation is required, or the data set representing the correct value need to be determined. So performing this stage can become complicated because of differences in data structures. Yes, maybe one table have multiple data field, second table have not a common field. We can say semantics means a value that is labeled differently. Two different data sets maybe mean the same things, same thing, means like surname and last name both are same thing. So also we have to see the semantics, how data is stored in that particular table when you are going for data aggregation and representation. So here you can see data set have two field, one is ID and second is name. Data set B have ID and date of birth. So here you can see ID is a common field, so we can create another data set, that will be data set C, that will contain ID, name and date of birth. So we can minimize, and also we can standardize the representation of database or data set. So here by this example we can see clearly data set A have two field, ID plus name, B have ID plus DOB, and both table ID is a common. So we can create a third table by mentioning ID, name and date of birth. Now here also you can see same example. Now talking about data visualization. So the ability to analyze massive amount of data and find useful insight carries little value if the only ones that can interpret the result or the analysis. The result of completing the data visualization stage provides user with the ability to perform visual analysis, allowing for the discovery of answer to question that user have not even formulated. So whatever data we gather, after gathering we do analysis. After analysis we find out there are many questions which have not been answered before. So according to data we can give the answer, and also we can make our future plan how you are going to use this particular report. Now this is final stage, that is called utilization of analysis result. Whatever analysis we have done till now we have to use on our future plan, and also we have to take a decision on that particular result. So subsequent to analysis, result began made available to business user to support business decision making, such as by a dashboard. There may be further opportunities to utilize the analysis result. Depending on the nature of the analysis problem being addressed, it is possible for the analysis result to produce model that encapsulate new insight and understanding about the nature of pattern and relationship that exist within the data that was analysis. A model may be look like a mathematical equation or a set of rules. Model can be used to improve business process logic and application system logic, and then can be formed the basis of a new system or software program. So basically in this video we have discussed the business life data cycle, how big data analytic life cycles work. So there are 9 stages. Business case evaluation means firstly you have to make a plan what you want to do, what is your motivation, what is your goal. Then second is data identification. Then you have to identify the data, which data is valid or not. Then we have to filter data, means here we are talking about removal of some corrupt data, some unused data. Then data extraction means find out valid data, then make it validate. Then we have to combine all the data before the data analysis. Then we have to analyze the data, then we have to visualize the result, and according to result we are going to use that particular data in our future plan. So thank you for listening me. Thank you.